This clip perfectly illustrates how the powers that be use woke culture to divide and conquer both sides. Take a look.
At every major corporation, the CIA, the FBI, all of Hollywood, all of, like everyone's pushing this down everyone's throats. And I think that they really, the powerful, jumped on this stuff and they use it as a distraction. I think it works out to be like this perfect divide and conquer tactic where you get, so here's one example I had, right? So Raytheon, our weapons company here in America, they're in the business of making weapons that they then sell to our federal government for taxpayer dollars that are then dropped on human beings when we have enough weapons to already blow up the entire world like a million times over. It's just a complete racket on every level that ends up killing innocent people. And Raytheon puts out this flyer that's like a transgender person on it. And they're like working at Raytheon is such an inclusive environment, and I identify as they, them, and blah, blah. Now I post this, I was making some joke about it. And then I'll see right-wingers on like responding to me on Twitter, and they're like, yeah, what an idiot. Like, how do you call yourself they, them? You're only one person. And it's like, no, man, you're missing the point. The joke here isn't like, ha ha, look at this trans person. The joke here is that Raytheon thinks you're so stupid that you will just get into this fight. And that the left-wingers are like, oh, that's really great. They're an inclusive environment. And then the right-wingers are like, no, that's really stupid. You can't identify as they. And no one's focused on what the real story is here, which is that Raytheon is making bombs to blow up children. And so it's just like, it's very, and the left, to me, it's like, I look at the left wing 20 years ago, they were protesting the war in Iraq. 10 years ago, they were protesting the banker bailouts. And now they're just completely obsessed with this woke identitarianism garbage. And if you were trying to distract the left from the issues that actually threaten power, like if this was all a plot, it would be a really effective one. It worked really well.
That was Dave Smith, I believe, on Zuby's podcast. Make sure you follow Dave Smith at Dave Smith Comic on most social media, and Zuby, just search Z-U-B-Y, you can find him. Both really enlightening, kind people with great perspectives. And I have to agree with Dave Smith. I mean, I remember Occupy Wall Street when there was big pressure being put on Wall Street, but now it's like, hey, Pride event at Goldman Sachs. We're just like you, y'all. For sure. No disrespect to Goldman Sachs, but, yeah. Metro Weekly, Kellogg's new LGBT cereal wants to fill your mouth with pride. First of all, two things. Most of these cartoon characters are marketed towards children, so filling your mouth with pride, considering most children don't get the birds and the bees conversation till they're teens, is not only wildly inappropriate and disgusting, some would consider it grooming and flirting on the lines of something much more nefarious that has nothing to do with how gay you are or not. But the main point I want to make here is what's in the cereal. A lot of cereals that they market towards kids are filled with sugar, and within the last few years, the CDC reported that more than 100 million US adults are now living with diabetes or pre-diabetes. 100 million. Of course, the pandemic hospitalizations was mostly driven by obesity, and the deaths were driven in obese countries because obviously that's a huge driving factor, but a population who understands that will not fill their mouths with LGBT cereal and pharmacy pills. According to a CNBC report not too long ago, America's around 5% of the world's population is taking 80% of opioids. Yeah, just ignore all that and eat your LGBT cereal. It's like they think we're this stupid, and they're right. They're using woke culture to divide and conquer both parties and fool people away from the root of the issues that are hurting our health, our wealth, and the safety of our country. One thing that me and Bernie Sanders can finally agree on is that Jeff Bezos doesn't need $10 billion bailout for a space program in a new Senate funding. They're just printing trillions of dollars. I mean, did anybody learn about Germany after World War I or Venezuela not too long ago? Printing money, inflation. I mean, you better hope this doesn't lead to mass poverty and starvation, because I don't think printing money usually works out well, but hopefully we could balance the books. And Jeff Bezos needs $10 billion? Are you kidding me? And although it's a divide and conquer strategy, I think the right wing understands that lockdown culture and all of this medical tyranny has been completely insane, unhealthy, and irrational and lied about by media. But the left is so into woke culture, they're like, I'm gonna wear my mask forever so people don't think I'm a Republican. It's like, do you not get what's going on? During the lockdown, a recent report says from ABC News, wealth of world's billionaires rose 5 trillion amid the pandemic, Forbes list finds. They gained 5 trillion. Recently, Amazon, Jeff Bezos' company, bought up MGM Studios for a whopping $8.45 billion because, oh well, an industry that was probably struggling during the pandemic just decided to give itself to a big tech company. I'm sure that's just totally random. It's not a conspiracy theory, folks. It's a reality. Big tech companies, billionaires, and the world's wealthiest people bamboozled the rest of the world, rose their wealth, while the average mom and pop shop suffered. U.S. News reported that the pandemic stripped 54 million from the global middle class. The New Yorker wrote an article last year how the coronavirus is killing the middle class. And another report said around 10% of all restaurants closed during the pandemic. Well, if restaurants are closing and suffering, who's picking up the slack? Oh, what do you know? The pandemic has more than doubled food delivery apps businesses. Now what? Companies aren't profitable, restaurants are feeling squeezed, and the drivers are just taking what's out there. But I'm sure Uber Eats and Postmates are doing fantastic. Do people really not get it yet? It's woke culture. It's I'm fighting the right wing. I'm gonna wear my mask and lock down because that's super safe. Yeah, it's super safe for the billionaires who are just exploiting you. It's super safe for the wealthy who are expounding their wealth. And for your grandma who you locked up like a prisoner, it probably hurt her mental health and her body. But people are so busy fighting over Trump and Biden, I think they forgot to care about their elderly and their children. And a society that can't even protect their most vulnerable, like children and elderly, is doomed to suffer. And that's what's happening, and that's what's going to happen if people don't come to their senses. Woke culture, oh, let me just eat sugary cereal, line up with Big Pharma, wave an LGBT flag at a Goldman Sachs parade with Raytheon, and fight Trump by wearing 2 masks and getting tattoos of Moderna and Pfizer cards. Whoa. Yeah, you're really fighting the system. And the right wing is like, Biden's printing a lot of money, and it's true, he is printing too much money, but so did Trump. So did all the Republicans. When Trump had power, the lockdown started under him. Operation Warp Speed, this whole big pharma medical tyranny overhaul of America, started under Trump. And if you don't believe me, just check your email. He emails his supporters every week to brag about how it was him and not Fauci who pressured the FDA to get this out sooner. And whether you think it's the government or the corporate class, spoiler alert, left or right, they're all working together for the most part, and they're all scamming you. And imagine like a cart. It's going towards a destination. Let's say it's going off a cliff. That cart is moving, and the left and the right are fighting within that cart, and then they have these actors in the Democrat and Republican Party where they're acting like if you vote for them, they're going to save the world and they're going to really fight, but they're in the same cart and they're both going off a cliff and they're both just putting on a show. It's a big circus for the masses, and we're falling for it, so we don't come together on things like, why was my gym shut down for a year? Around 10% of restaurants got shut down, but Uber Eats and Amazon are thriving, while Jeff Bezos is possibly getting a $10 billion taxpayer bailout for his space company. Are you kidding me? But nobody cares. Nobody realizes. It's all just a big sick show. So hopefully this woke you up, and hopefully more people come to their senses, because our country is basically just being robbed. I don't know what else you call it when they're printing off money, saying you can't work, saying your business is going to double and the billionaires are going to do better, but you have to suffer. And just ignore if they start buying up companies, buying up real estate. I mean, they're robbing you, they're scamming you, they're destroying the country. We're being conquered. And Donald Trump, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Joe Biden, and Chuck Schumer are not going to save you. I don't know who lied to you and told you they were, but if we could all come together and realize that they're not, I think we could accomplish a lot more, because reality is going to hit us really soon if we don't wake up and start correcting course. Thanks so much for watching my videos. God bless you. I appreciate you so much. Just so people don't ask, I fractured my left thumb. I actually fractured it for a month. I didn't even realize it, and I am lefty, so it's even harder to edit these videos, but I still do it myself. I film, I'm working on a music video, writing a book. Only going to slow me down a little bit, but hopefully not too much. Thank you to everybody supporting at dreamrare.com. I have these hats, or godblesshats.com. I have black beanies as well, a few tank tops, and I'll probably get more designs and more clothing soon. So if you want a white hat or a black beanie, it would be a good idea to get one now. Thank you to everybody supporting on patreon.com/raretalk. That's what allows me to be able to make this content and focus on good media content. Thank you guys so much. StayInTouchWithMe.com, my free email list. Make sure you sign up there, StayInTouchWithMe.com, and t.me/DreamRareChat. Sign up on Telegram, t.me/DreamRareChat, or just search Anomaly Dream Rare Chat. Have a good day. I'll be back soon.